Hello and welcome to the Spit Shit podcast. This is the podcast where we spit shit, talk about facts that are somewhat relevant. So today we have got Ash and Indy from Hot Girls Theory podcast.
Hello.
This is your first time on camera, isn't it, for a podcast?
For a podcast, yes.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird feeling.
The control freak in me is freaking out.
Yeah, it's one of those feelings. Like the first time me and Jesse filmed it, that was the first episode. Throughout the episode, we just continued just like
it's
looking
like
at the camera.
Like,
Yeah, and it's very weird feeling. Today's episode is going to be very, very different to what we normally do. It's going to be a bit interesting. Yeah. So we're just going to be talking just about your podcast and stuff like that. You know, find out what made you want to start the podcast and all that. Also ask the Instagram for some questions as well. And there's some really stupid ones, but I think there's some pretty decent ones as well. For those of you who don't know, Ash is one of my exes, so that's it's pretty funny.
Yeah, pleasure is his.
Yeah.
It's kind of the reason for the collab today.
It's the reason for the collab. So yes,
I
was on Hot Girls Theory, so I'll link that in the description. So bit of clout for you, all my 30 people that watch.
All the horny guys.
All the horny guys that watch.
They're a bit curious. Hot Girls Theory? I say the hot girls. Don't care about the theory so much.
Just as long as they're hot, it's fine.
All right. So the first thing I just want to ask, I just want you to tell me a bit about yourselves. I know quite a bit about yourself, but you, Indy, I don't know much about you personally.
Shall I go first then?
Go first. Yeah.
Okay. I'm Indy. I'm 23. Should I just go with like the study stuff, like the usual boring stuff?
Go for it. Yeah.
I'm currently doing a Bachelor of Arts. I major in gender, sexuality, and diversity studies, and I minor in sociology. I work for a telco company. I host Hot Girls Theory with Ash. I don't know. Other than that, like,
Who do you work for?
Vodafone.
I work for Telstra.
Rival.
Yeah.
Rivalries.
How long have you worked at Telstra for?
2 years now.
Going on 5. So.
Wow, that's unfortunate.
Experience in you. No, I'm excited. I get $1,000 if I stay there until the 5-year mark. So I'm just.
Get it.
Oh really?
That. Yeah.
Grind it out.
But other than that, I'm a feminist. I'm an advocate. I'm an activist. I'm a vegan. I don't know. I'm a big self-love advocate. So yeah.
Love that. What about you, Ash?
Well, besides, I literally spoke to the camera then.
You like
well,
You do it. You do it, and you don't realise you do it. Yeah. Like I always like when I talk, I lean my hand like this, and then I'll be like, "Oh, the camera can't see me."
Yeah.
I forget it's not the.
And you do talk with your hands a lot. You're very like.
I'm very what's the word? Like a gesture.
It's a big ethnic thing.
It's a great thing. Yeah, most definitely.
But yeah, I'm Ash. Oh my god, sorry. I'm Ash. And I guess that's such an intro. I don't know how to finish that. But I am a co-host of Hot Girls. I don't know, it's kind of weird because I do Hot Girls and then I work with children. Like, and it's so strange because I'm like sex, and I'm just like ABC. And it's just like
it's a weird shift of.
Yeah, and other than that, not really that much. Just your favourite bimbo.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. We love that. So obviously something you've both got in common is you are both on Hot Girls.
Yes, we are.
Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, should we say like how me and Indy know each other?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, tell us everything about it. I want to know the ins and the outs, everything.
So back in the day, me and Indy met at a Bring Me the Horizon concert.
Well, we met before that.
Yeah.
We have like ancient photos of us at a birthday party.
Yeah.
In Hallett Cove.
Not the proud years.
Like really young, that young.
I was still shopping at JJ's probably.
Yeah, that like you get into the emo phase, but you're not quite sure how to work it because you're still like 12. So we have a photo together. It's great. And then we kind of really officially met when we went to a Bring Me the Horizon concert. She was with her friends, I was with my friends. It was very much like and we've talked about this on the podcast as well. Like I'm like in my element when I go to a concert, even when I was like that young. So she was super like.
I was just like, she's not gonna like me, I'm not gonna like her, let's just not be friends. Yeah.
And then we kind of reconnected through social media. You dated someone. You dated someone I went to high school with.
Yeah.
Who I didn't like and don't continue not to like very much. Just because he's I'm not gonna say it, but anyway. Then I remember, basically from my perspective, and Ash can go I guess into afterwards. We were friends on socials, kind of that like Facebook, Instagram thing, and then when me and my ex broke up at the end of 2018, and I was back on the dating apps, I saw her ex. Now, because of context, they were still in a relationship on Facebook.
Yeah. Okay. But we weren't actually in a
relationship. So I was like,
I
was like, something's sus. Okay. And because I already didn't like him, I was like. Yeah. And I was already like, Ash, like, he doesn't deserve you. Like, no. So I DM'd her and I was like, hey, I just want to let you know, like, your boyfriend is on dating apps. And she was like, it's fine, we broke up. So I was like, okay, that's fine, peace of mind there. But we never really spoke after that for ages. It was always just kind of like the mutual, like for likes on Insta, watching stories.
And then I think, like, when coronavirus happened, you were like on a rant on IG Live or something.
Yeah, I was live.
And I was like, and I was like commenting or something. And then I think I slid into your DMs and was like, bitch, you need a podcast. And I was like, I want one. I was like, I want one too. And then that's how Hot Girls.
We kind of, we were just mutually like, I want a podcast, I want a podcast, let's do it together.
It's so organic.
It was very
it's good shit. That's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
Nice and natural and just blends well,
It surprises a lot of people because we have such a good rapport and a really good chemistry. But in reality, like, we hadn't, like, until I got back to Adelaide on the Tuesday,
we hadn't seen each other in like
we hadn't seen each other properly since we were like teenagers.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you record the podcast then?
Online.
So Zoom and stuff like that.
Yeah, we do a Facebook call, and then we record each like of our tracks on our mics, and then we kind of obviously in editing just put it all together. So
it's the whole what do you call it? The hoax of Hot Girls. We're actually in the same state,
which is like really funny because when I got here and I was talking to my mum about it, she's like, I've got to go. I was like, I've got to go see Ash, and I have another friend Ash. She's like, oh yeah, who lives up the road? I was like, no, like for the podcast. She's like, I thought she lived in Melbourne. I was like, no, Mum.
Yeah, because I would have thought I thought you lived in Adelaide, to be completely honest with you. Yeah, right, okay. Cool. Yeah. There you go. What's the podcast about? Hit us.
Sex.
Yeah, cool.
It's more than that, but like
it's definitely the drawing point when someone says, what's the podcast? I'm like, oh, dick, sex, pussy.
Yeah, we definitely draw it in with that. Like, I tend to say sex as like a shock value thing, and then I'll say, actually, it's a society and culture podcast where we focus on sex, sexuality, feminism, everything, because we don't really have a niche. So
we just go everywhere as long as sex is involved somewhere.
Yeah,
sounds a bit like mine, as in like where we
sex or
not the sex. Actually, fun fact: only time we've spoken about sex was in the last episode when we spoke about friends with benefits.
I did. Stuff like I saw that video on the Instagram.
Yeah, interesting take of you had to hate them to fuck them or some. You said something like that.
I did. Yeah. That was. It got a laugh. Yeah. It got a laugh.
It got a laugh, but I was also just like, isn't the whole idea that you're friends?
Yeah. And like touching on it again, my thing is like I feel like my personal what's the word I'm looking for here? My personal idea of friends with benefits, I guess you can say, is I don't think it can work necessarily, just for the sole fact that friends with benefits, like someone's going to end up falling for someone, and I don't know. That's again my personal opinion on it.
Is that like your experience as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah, that's my experience with it too. But yeah, so
you're not saying that it can't work in some instances?
In some instances, yeah.
Just and not for you?
Yeah, not for me, and not from what I've
Is that because you catch the feelings?
Once before I have, yes, I'll admit. But I don't know, and like from seeing with my friends as well, I definitely, my opinion is I don't see it ever working realistically.
I feel like it works if that friend isn't involved in your friend group. It's like your friend.
If it's someone completely separate.
That's the only reason it's ever worked for me in the past.
Yeah. It's an interesting topic, and like when I spoke about it last time, I had two guys' opinions, and their opinions were pretty much on point with mine as well. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what your opinions are on them, I guess.
On friends with benefits?
Yeah.
I think it definitely can work. I think a lot of the times it's like a self-sabotage. And that kind of... I think a lot of people think that to have sexual affection, it has to be wrapped up in this romantic affection too, which I think is a cop-out, and you're actually restricting yourself of having very good, fulfilling sexual friendships if you are in that mindset of it can't work because I'm going to get feelings. It's like, well, no, not if you're... we talked about this on Hot Girls.
Yeah, okay.
You have issues with communication.
Yeah. So we actually did talk about this on Hot Girls, my issues with communication.
And this is proof that we're not together.
Yeah.
I think a big, huge, actually, part of having a friends with benefits connection, even any kind of relationship really, is communication. Yeah. So if you don't have the ability to communicate with the person that you're fucking, who's supposed to be your friend, like the whole idea is that you're friends with benefits, which because I reject this idea that like you have to, you know, kind of have a boundary of like you're mean and you don't spend time together outside of that. Like you can and you should.
Yeah.
So that's my opinion.
Yeah, maybe that's why it hasn't worked for me personally, because my communication is garbage.
I think the thing is like you have to find someone who you are friends with on that level. You want to fuck, so you have that sexual attraction, but they're not your relationship goal.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
I get you.
I feel like a lot of people go, I'm really attracted to you, you're really, really great as a person and I could see myself in a relationship with you, but I'm gonna just fuck you and like it's gonna be like that.
Yeah.
And whereas
too many mixed
you can find someone you're compatible with sexually and on a friendship level and it not go to the relationship side.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, cool. It has opened my eyes a little bit more, because I was always...
This is what I'm here for.
I was gonna say, you didn't expect this.
No, I was a one-trick pony very much. It's not going to work ever, but who knows? Like, I guess.
But there's definitely different it's contextual on who you're sleeping with.
Yeah. Okay.
There's no one blanket rule, and it shouldn't be the same. Like the relationships that you have, for example, the relationship you have with Ash is very different to other relationships you've had before, right?
Yeah.
So why are you assuming that all friends with benefits is going to be the same?
Yeah. True. That's very true. Interesting.
Think about that.
I will think about it.
What about you, Ash? What's your opinion on friends with benefits?
Okay, now Starly's not getting so much attacked.
I wasn't attacking.
I know.
Educating. It was a lesson. Yes. I felt like I was back in school.
I think it's worked for
have
me.
That effect on people.
Oh my god, it's worked in the past for me. Like I just said before, if like it's not a friend in the group, when it has been a friend in the group, it fucks up shit. I haven't been in that because it's too, and also Adelaide, like. It seems like everyone fucks each other and I'm just not with it. I just can't.
Back to like you saying when it's like a friend in the group kind of thing, do you kind of, not that you've ever been in that experience, but I guess you'd kind of have that feeling where you're like imagining the relationship because you're always around them and it's like works like that. I'm not, because you haven't
especially because if they're a friend, you're like, oh, we already have a really good friendship. A good relationship is when you're friends. And you start making connections, and that's when it's.
It's because you've already established a relationship over like an amount of time. Like in my experience personally, it was that essentially where we'd known each other for such a long time, and then we ended up both like catching feelings for each other, and it just wasn't gonna work because of like situations and whatnot. It's interesting because as we explained in Hot Girls, I base a lot of my stuff off of one opinion, like one experience essentially, which I shouldn't do realistically.
I think it's like it's you're cutting yourself off from having lots of different varied experiences.
Yeah, well, exactly right. Yeah, just narrowing it down to one situation, it closes a lot of doors. I just want to know, like, because obviously you said Hot Girls is very much about sex.
Yes.
In the episode where you just recorded, we touched on quite a few other topics and stuff like that. So what other topics do you cover in it as well?
Oh god, so many.
Literally anything we want. That's the beauty of Hot Girls. Like, definitely there's obviously sex, but there's obviously like feminism, and then there's media, and then there's everything. As long as especially ourselves.
Like, this isn't to be like, oh, we just like to talk about ourselves, but we draw. I think what a lot of people like about Hot Girls and why we have a lot of, you know, people who come back and keep listening is because we talk about everything from our perspective,
and it's not just the good parts. Like I've said stuff that makes me seem like the worst person on earth, and there's still people that in the DMs like, oh, like I do the same thing, like that's fine, and like I don't know, I feel like it's not fake, it's just this is everything.
It's very real. It's good, and something that we try to do here as well, what I try to do on Spit Shit is just talk about absolutely everything. Try not cut it down to just one kind of topic. But our topics that we talk about here are very, very different.
Which is like, it's to be expected.
Yeah, well, of course.
Would you have a sex episode?
100%. And that's kind of what I want for this episode, to be completely honest with you. That's what I was going to ask. So before we get to like the sex questions and whatnot, obviously us two, we're in a relationship at some point. And we touched on it in Hot Girls as well. We just want to touch on it here as well, just about why it didn't work out and stuff like that. And your opinion on me at that time, because it's very, very interesting for I guess others to hear another perspective of me, because most of the people that do watch the podcast are mainly my mates and like a few other people here and there, but it'll be interesting for them to hear a perspective on me. So
shoot
your shot, go for it.
I'll not shoot my shot.
That's what I do.
I was gonna say
that's what I do.
I'm just gonna sip on this soju.
Go for it.
As I said in Hot Girls, look, I thought you were the best guy ever. When I met, I was like, he ticks all the boxes, he's hairy, he's, well, you know, whatever.
The nose, the wog nose.
Yeah, the wog nose, just, everything. Anyway, and then obviously it didn't work out, and I thought you were the biggest fuckboy. And I was like, this dickhead, like, da-da-da, and...
The amount of times we've used Libra men as code for you has been...
Oh, really?
You're really calling me out.
Yeah, right, okay.
What was the question again? Like what I thought of you?
Yeah, just
your opinion.
Your opinion and stuff like that on the whole situation.
Look, it was fun.
Yeah.
Really good highlights, but really bad lowlights.
Yeah.
And I think, like, I don't know, I feel like we talked about this, but it would have worked at a different time.
Oh, 100%.
And I think we both, I'm kind of happy we both have a very similar understanding to what happened. And it's not like he was a bad person, I'm a bad person.
Yeah, no, exactly right.
A mutual understanding.
A mutual understanding that we both, like, fucked up on each end.
Yeah, and it was more so, like you've touched on as well, it was just the current situation of things where... on my part, I can definitely say, like, my communication was definitely a huge factor in why it didn't work out. And it's probably a huge factor in a lot of things, why a lot of things haven't worked out for me.
What do you think on my part I did wrong? I know what I did wrong, but I want you to...
It's interesting because, like, I've never actually really reflected on what you've done necessarily, so it'd be interesting to see what you think, because...
I'm surprised you didn't say overthinking.
Okay. Definitely overthinking. A lot, that was definitely something. Like I said, I didn't really think about it, because I usually, like, I sat back and I reflected on myself for it. Overthinking though, that was definitely a huge one. Always worrying and stuff like that about...
That's on anxiety.
Exactly right. And it's...
And insecurity.
It's one of those things, you know, but... And I did always try to reassure you not to, but it's not something
tough.
that me just saying don't worry about it is going to change.
I think the worst point was that Groove in the Mood Day, or whatever festival that was. That was like...
Spin-off?
Spin-off, that's it. It was... Like, it was the worst. I remember I was trying to find my friends, and then I think I yelled at you at one point. And I was like, da-da-da, and then you were high as hell, so it was like...
and it was like straight over my head. That was... I was really high that day.
Yeah.
That was... I can actually talk about this on the podcast, which is funny. That was a day where I got really drunk at Prees, and then we had brownies, and then I was just done after that.
You didn't talk, and that would scared me. I remember, like, you not talking, you were smiling. I was like, are you, like, good? Like...
I was good. I was just... I almost passed out, like, about 10 times, I reckon, that day.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I was just revitalised and whatnot. But yeah, that was... that spin-off was definitely, I think, the day where
it was done.
we both realised.
It was done. And then I fucked off the Bali.
And then I was meant to go to Bali as well. But yeah, no, that's... it's funny because both of our lookings on it are very similar, where it's just... that current point in time just didn't... It just didn't fit. And actually, one of the questions from the podcast, which from the Instagram, sorry, which I'll ask now, was because I mentioned on the Instagram, I got one of my exes coming on, and the question was, if it's Ashley, would you guys get back together? Would you guys get back together? In brackets, she was my favourite.
And I know who sent it.
You know who sent it because I mentioned it before. And I think we kind of touched on that. It's like it's one of those things where I could definitely see it happening, maybe. We mentioned it on Hot Girls as well. Like, if we were to rekindle everything now, it might work.
Yeah, it would be better for sure.
It'd be better for sure. But me personally, I don't ever see it happening or anything like that. I don't know if it's the same for you at all. Or...
It would have to be such a different capacity to what it was. And like, because I've had friends be like, oh, like, would you? And I'm like... I could see it being casually a thing, but relationship-wise...
definitely.
And that was a really strong
that's kind of my answer for it as well. It's very much, I don't know. Because, I mean, you never know what's actually going to happen in the future. Exactly. Who knows? Like, maybe in, like, 5 years' time, we might meet again, and who knows?
In the middle of Japan.
In the middle of Japan. Go straight into the questions from the Instagram now then.
We're just going on tangents.
So, this question is probably... I know who it's from, and it's very interesting because you don't know this person. Okay. It's from one of my family members, and he is a newly 18-year-old.
Okay.
Virgin as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
I love how you're so freely just saying that.
He knows who it is.
Yeah, I know, but even then, that's still just like...
Nah, I'm calling you out, man. I won't say your name, but I'm calling you out.
Leave the boy be.
Nah, screw him. He's a little shit anyway. And his question was essentially... He was asking for sex tips.
Okay.
As well.
Okay, yeah. I'm ready.
As well as confidence as well.
I'm ready.
Yeah?
Okay, so can you give me more context?
So... I have tried my best to coach this young boy about confidence.
What does he want? Okay, yeah. What's the top tips?
He wants to lose his virginity. Because he in his eyes he's very much like, I'm 18 and I
it's
haven't
like
lost
he's not
my
a
virginity.
man until
and very much I'm kind of like, who gives a fuck about that? You'll lose it when you lose it.
Because you didn't lose yours at 18.
I lost mine at 19. And he's very much feels pressured into it as well, which I've always said to him, don't feel pressured. Just because your friends are doesn't mean you have to. But
also your friends could be lying.
Oh, that's 100%. That's a huge factor in as well.
Like, I would not trust, especially if it's just like a group of friends who are like his guy friends, I would not trust them to be telling the truth or even be telling the truth about the quality of sex they're having at that age.
Because sex at like 4, like whenever we I just exposed myself, but whenever we like started having sex, like...
You're like, when was that? I don't know.
When was that? Oh my god, no. Anyway, I won't go down that rabbit hole. But... like, that was shit sex compared to now. Like, it's not going to be probably the best.
I think if anything, and I guess, like, you losing your virginity at 19 as well might have, like, a similar experience, but if anything, the ability to kind of have the time to take a step back and really think about... I remember, so my ex was 18. I was 19 and he was 18 when we first started dating, and he was a virgin. And I had sex by then, you know, similar to Ash, like, quite young, and I remember him saying to me, because one of his mates was like, you know, oh man, don't do it, like, kind of like in a, like, the first time I did it, like his friend was saying, the first time I did it, it was such a shit experience.
Okay.
And so my ex was so caught up in this idea that it was going to be bad no matter what.
That's so strange to me.
Right? Yeah. And we were in a relationship, so we were together for about maybe 4 months by the time we actually had sex. And at that point, I was like, I'm so fucking horny, just please fuck me. Please. And he knew it.
I'm going to clip that. That's going to be the Instagram clip as well, by the way.
That's fine. That's fine, because I was fucking horny. Anyway, so he was like, we were talking about it, because I was like, why? Like, what's going on? Like, why won't we get there? Because I was like, I'm happy to wait. Like, I'm happy to do that, but you need to talk to me about what's going on.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, my mate, he just like, and then explained that. And I got really upset. I said to him, I was like, you have no idea the privilege you have to actually have the control to be able to pick and choose. Because I didn't pick and choose.
Oh, yeah.
It happened to me, and it happened to me, and it was traumatic.
Yeah, of course.
And I think that a lot of boys in particular don't understand that, like, there's a lot in that goes there for girls more than guys. Like, so socially for guys, it's like that you got that pressure, that you've got that I need to lose my virginity, I'm not a man, I'm a pussy, whatever. But when it comes to girls, it's like, it's you're pure, or you're a prude, or you're a slut, or there's too much. It's like way too much. So I think for your cousin, he needs to. I actually think, like, if anything, like, he needs to think about what he actually wants. And like, does he want to actually lose his virginity, or does he? Yeah,
like, it's gonna be shit.
And also, like, not to get all like theory based, but like virginity is fully a social construct. Especially like if he's like had oral sex or if that kind of thing, like that's a form of losing your virginity. You've got many virginities to lose.
Of course.
Many virginities. So I think, like, and for confidence wise, like when it comes to talking to girls, I assume he's heterosexual.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say
how is he talking to girls? Can you do that?
Horrid.
Really? Like horrid, how so?
As in, like, can't. Like how I was at 18. Like,
but you can talk to girls.
Now I can.
Yeah.
Again?
When I was 17, 18, I couldn't even say hello.
Bringing it back to my ex, right? The way because he was 18 and I was 18 at the time, but when we were dating I was 19. But I very much was the driving factor in us being together, because I was very much like, I'm going to talk to you, I'm attracted to you, I want to. So it might be an opportunity where he gets a confident girl who's like willing to talk to him.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So, and I think in that instance he would just need to like take a step back and just let her do her thing.
Yeah,
I'd be like, all right, I'm getting attention.
Yeah.
Because that part, the party we met at, it was like funny.
It's that
it was funny because similar.
Sorry, I just clicked.
I'm very out of the loop here, but can you keep going?
Similar to Ash.
Indy's X-Files, number 3 or 2.
Number 3.
3.
Similar to you know, Ash being like, oh, I'm nervous to have Starthy and Indy in a room together. Like our mutual friend was like, Indy and this guy can't be in the same room together. They're just gonna fight. They're gonna fight. And I remember walking in and being like, oh.
Sometimes sex is hot though.
Well, it wasn't like that, but I talked to him, and halfway through the party, like, I was on top of him making out with him, and he'd never fucking kissed anyone before.
Oh, really?
I didn't know that at the time. I was like on top of him, like, I want to make out with you, like, and he literally was like, I'd never kissed anyone before that, and I was like,
really?
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so in that essence, I think it's like kind of, I think if anything, like, when it comes to talking to girls, like, they just want someone who's genuine and wants, like, you want someone who's interested in you, especially at that age.
I was going to say, so he's 18, and he's done nothing.
I don't know about nothing.
Yeah.
We don't want to assume.
But I'm going to assume. We'll just assume, Talking with him, we'll assume.
Just go to a party, meet a girl, and just like go with the flow. If you force it, you're going to fuck it up.
House party age as well.
I was going to say house party. 18's the best house party age. Even 23 is the best house party age. I can't speak apparently.
That sounds like you're good.
No, apparently not. It's a tongue twister. But
yeah, I think like for confidence, it's just about like being who you are. And I guess if you don't have a lot of confidence in who you are, that.
And girls can kind of like sniff out like if you're really desperate and if you're really like you just can't do that because as soon as a guy's like kind of like jumping on you, you're like stop.
Yeah.
There's a slick way you can do it.
Yeah, I've definitely experienced that myself. And being very desperate.
You being more jumpy, like how so?
Like just being very horny and just like you could feel my aura that that's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
I was young at that time as well. I was 19. It was when I was 19. I just lost my virginity pretty much, and you could just tell that's what I wanted again. But I guess
if you're not in a relationship and you lose your virginity, you're like, I need to find it again.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So you said, sorry.
No, go.
Does he want tips like sexually as well?
Sex tips as well.
Ooh.
But he doesn't.
He wants tips.
But that's what I'm saying. When he does, he doesn't want to go in there not knowing anything.
All right.
Communication is key.
I definitely
yes, 100%.
I hate to sound like a teacher, but
well, I mean he wants
it. True though. It's true though.
Yeah.
I think like the biggest thing is like you need to ask her what she wants and how she likes it.
It's not just
and obviously if you're his cousin, you've given him the pussy eating talk.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, of course.
But like again, it goes back to like he needs to just be like, what do you and making sure that she's okay with it.
Yeah.
Don't do anything unless you ask first.
100%. Yes, that's key.
And also like I know it's like his first time, but that doesn't mean it's like all his experience. Like leading off that, like it has to be about her as well. Because like I know, and don't be too intimidated if she's had sex before. Because my second boyfriend, I've had sex before, he didn't, and he was a bit intimidated by that, but it's kind of like a win.
You shouldn't have to be intimidated by that though. It's you know.
Yeah,
don't feel awkward.
Ask for what they like, and make sure that you just kind of take it slow. Yeah, and also like take it slow. Like you can find the rhythm later.
Yeah,
if you're with the foreplay stuff, like.
I'd say just start with
hour-long foreplay.
Maybe not hour-long for him.
He might be the first time round.
He might be a little bit intense. That might be a little bit intense for the first time.
It's never too intense. I'm joking. Of course I'm joking. But yeah, no, of course.
Do you think that's enough for him?
I think so. Right. I think he should be able to work with that.
All right. I just want to make sure that he has enough wisdom.
Yeah, he's got plenty. Well, he'll have plenty of wisdom after watching this. And if he doesn't watch it, I'll put it in front of his face and force him to watch it.
Well, I mean, if he asks the question, surely.
And then just listen to Hot Girls Theory.
Yeah, that's like honestly.
It's going to be in the description. Check it out. It's amazing. Now this is a question as well. From one of my good friends who's bald. He wants to know what girls are completely bald. Yeah, he wants to know. Nothing. Skinhead bald, lost all of his head at 23. He knows exactly who it is as well.
I don't know what?
I knew it.
This wasn't a question that was on the Instagram at all. It's something that we always discuss, and I feel like it's the perfect opportunity for it. He always wants to know what a girl's thoughts are on a completely skinhead bald head.
It depends on what you look like.
Me personally, I think it suits him.
Okay, because there's some people where like you're like,
It really depends because like my dad has a bald head, so I wouldn't go there. But like, I know I've had like obviously I've like had sex with a guy who was like bald or just skinhead, but whatever you call it.
Yeah.
But like balding, or like I just throw it
on the bus. You can't say skinhead. That's too Nazi.
Not skinhead, but just like faded or whatever you call it.
Yeah.
Like buzz cut. That's the word.
Buzz cut. Okay.
But like I don't know. As long as like. If it's completely bald, at least like moisturize, so it's not dry.
He's got a smooth head.
Okay.
He's got a smooth head.
As long as he's that, and he,
it genuinely depends on what your face looks like.
Yeah.
Can you suit a bald head?
It depends on like whether or not you suit it, and I obviously don't know. I've never seen this person. You can show me a photo if you'd like.
I will. I'll get it right. It suits him. It suits him very much.
Not the collar.
We're giving him a big head right now. Hot with a bald head. Actually, I'm gonna cut that out. His name. You're hot with a bald head.
Alright, let me see. I want to see.
Not to throw him under the bus, but he was kind of bald when I met him.
Yeah.
So like, he looks good.
He does. So it's the one on the right, in the black t-shirt.
Oh, he does.
Yeah.
He has the brows and the beard.
He actually does.
Yeah, it suits him, right?
As long as you have the brows and the beard, but it's the tattoos that make it.
Yeah.
If you're just like bald and like you don't have the features to to suit it.
Yeah.
You can't, and then if you have the features it's fine, but like when you know how to dress, when you have the tattoos, like when you have the like embodied, like you're like I'm bald and I know
because that's missing. You have to check.
I'm taking the credit for his dress sense because I coach him on that.
I can kind of tell that. Yeah.
I don't like bald guys, and he could get it.
Wait. I said it again. Cut that out.
You just have to like beep it and
you have to cut out when I like did that as well.
I will. I'll blur it and beep it. It's like
and then just like have like a little like Comic Sans in the background, like and fucking Starthy and Ash making mistakes.
You know who you are, and you'd get it from me as well. So this question here is, this is directly for you.
Oh God! What?
All right. And this is from, I'm going to say his name because I mentioned his name before. It's from Jordan, right? Yes. And you know Jordan. He's a bit of a joker, a bit of a prankster. Yeah. And his question was, out of my friends,
I knew you were going to ask me this.
Which one do you find the most attractive? And he said, if it's not him, he's going to be very upset.
He's not my type.
Sorry, not. Sorry, Jordan.
I mean, like...
That's actually going to cut him deep.
You two are so different, so why I can't say it.
Oh, you definitely can. I know what the answer is.
It's not that one you're thinking of.
Really?
I know.
So out of the blue.
I'll show you.
And then I can tell you as well.
But just
really?
Wait.
Okay.
It's
Really?
Yeah, I would like. He's not top. Attractive, but he's too model.
Me knowing you've already matched on Tinder.
That was accidental.
Okay, it's
it
interesting.
Was that photo.
Which one? Oh, this one there.
I remember seeing that. Yeah, and I was like, okay.
So these are some of the boys. So that's.
I love how we're getting the boys chat.
He's
like looker of the group apparently.
He's the model. He's not really in the group anymore. That and
such a baby face.
Who? Yeah, and he's the oldest out of all of us. He's like turning 26 this year.
Yeah, he would be, wouldn't he?
Yeah. Who else we got?
Yeah.
I'll get some more photos.
I love how we're going through your Instagram, just like commenting on all your friends.
Wait, we need to know the answer.
Of course, Jordan.
Well, I feel like I also feel a little left out.
This is this is one of the other boys.
Yeah.
But they're
I couldn't say what just came in my head. Just
he's hot. Hot. And then this
not
is
my type.
This is the other one, Jesse. So that one there. So they're the main boys.
Okay. And what about the other guy that you showed me before? Is he in the group too?
Which? Not in this group. But he will include.
So you have two groups.
Yes. Slowly coming into this group.
Because I would say out of your friends that you've just shown me, he is the most attractive. And then I'm gonna say you're next.
Me?
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Because you're also my type.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
And that's
he's gonna give him such a big head. Oh, and he'll know it's about him as well. Because I want to obviously bleep out his name, but he know it's about him.
I feel like didn't like me, so I'm just like, no, he's not in my table.
No, he didn't like. He had realistically no opinion. He didn't really get a chance to build an opinion.
Yeah.
He messaged me when I posted on the Instagram, and he knew it was going to be you that came on, and he goes, "That will be an interesting episode."
Why
I'm like,
that?
I was like, yeah, what do you mean? But yeah, so
I feel sorry for you editing this right now.
Oh, it's gonna be fun. The last episode, that I tried to edit was like when we were opening the Pokemon packs. Yeah. Right behind there. Yeah. Just ignore them.
You just want me to look at them.
And that took me from like 7 a.m. until like 3 p.m. to edit the whole thing.
It takes us a long time.
Yeah, editing's the worst thing.
Yeah. Especially like with the episodes where we're doing interviews, because it's obviously like we have mine, our guests, and then Ash's audio. And so it's like we have to, it's just not fun.
Editing's, out of like all film stuff, editing is my least favourite part. Yeah. Which is why I've got, when I do my film eventually, I'm going to have people to do it for me.
Easy.
Because I'll tell them what I want and they'll do it for me.
That's what keeps Ash and I going, is one day we'll pay people to do this for us.
When you get enough money and everything like that, hire your own staff, make it an enterprise and a business.
We have dreams for the Hot Girl office.
Well, we have, like, it's on the vision board.
It's on my vision board.
It's always good to have big dreams, aspire big, and you know.
It is on my vision board.
Well, we were talking about it realistically, like a timeline, because obviously when Ash and then because I'm going to Perth at the end, like for the start of next year to study for 2 years, and then I'll come back to Melbourne. So, and then after she gets back from doing her thing, we'll both be in Melbourne. Yeah, that's when we're like, we'll get property.
That's good stuff. Yeah. Now one last question, which is the silly question. So the last episode, the question on that was, who would win in a fight, one gigantic duck or 100 little ducks? But this week's question,
I thought that was going to
be this week's question is it's a bit of a strange one. Who would win in a fight, a taco or a grilled cheese sandwich?
A grilled cheese sandwich.
Yeah?
Do you know how hot those motherfuckers are?
Yeah.
The cheese is hot.
But if you get some hot sauce in the taco...
I've never had a taco with
I feel like the taco would just crumble.
Crumble.
I don't know. Crumble.
Yeah.
But the taco would just crumble, because that's what tacos do.
In my head, are you thinking like a cheese toasty or like an American grilled cheese?
In my head, I'm thinking the cheese toasty.
Okay. That cheese is hot.
I still think that the hot cheese.
Yeah?
Yeah, that was burnt.
I'm imagining them like animated in my head, like having a Western fight, and like the cheese.
That's how I'm picturing
it's just like spurting like hot cheese, and it's just melting the taco.
If they had like their own superpower abilities as well. So the cheese's superpower ability,
the hot cheese
was hot cheese.
Yeah.
And the tacos, what would the tacos be? It squirts out hot sauce on it.
But I've never
thought about this.
I've never had a taco with hot sauce on it, because the salsa, I guess, is a bit spicy when I do that.
I'm a bit of a freak, and I get extra hot sauce on it though.
I mean,
yeah, this is gonna be fun. Oh yeah.
I can't. Other than like acting like a Venus flytrap because of the way the taco works,
I did think so.
I would think that it would be some kind of like snappy thing. But
yeah,
that's not really. I feel like I'm imagining it kind of
like a hard taco or a soft taco.
It'd be a hard taco.
Hard taco.
It would just crumble then.
But in the imagination, it wouldn't crumble.
Oh, I'm too realistic for this conversation.
Okay, so I'm imagining it like Mortal Kombat, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And you know how you've got characters who like they work better from far away in terms of their attacks, and then they've got people who are better like close range. Yeah. I feel like the taco would be better close range, and the toasty would be better far away, because it could spurt the hot cheese
at it. Okay, so you're saying cheese, grilled cheese sandwich. Yeah. What are you saying?
The toasty.
Grilled cheese, because it can burn. Yeah.
I'm saying taco. All right.
Let us know in the comments.
Because
I want to know
what's winning in a fight: a grilled cheese sandwich or a taco. So there you go.
Let's do some juicy questions.
That's juicy questions. All right, so they're actually all the questions I got from the Insta, which kind of sucks.
I have a question for Starthy.
Go for it, yeah.
What? Okay, and like this is based on first impressions, and then like after these conversations, what's your opinion of me? And first impression and this.
Okay, first impression. Genuinely, I don't know. I always make my first opinion on someone when I meet them in person. I never make an opinion like over social media or anything like that.
Did you look at my socials?
Oh yeah, of course I did. Yeah. But I didn't build my opinion on that. But speaking to you today and everything like that, I think you're a lovely person. I'd definitely have a conversation with you out and about and stuff like that. If I was to see you out, I wouldn't ignore you. I'd go up to you and I'd say, like, hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
Like,
appreciate it.
Yeah. What's your opinion on me?
Well,
you've heard things.
Yeah, so your first opinion of me is probably very different.
My first impression. Okay, do you want to take it back to my real first impression?
Oh, I want to take it all the way back.
All the way back. Okay, so this was before podcast. This was like 2018 kind of vibe, like when you guys were like fucking around with it.
2018.
Shh, let me tell the story. So I was at a party.
It was in 2018. Oh, it was in 2019.
Yeah, but okay, so this was the party was the party was Halloween party. I was at a Halloween party in 2019. My mistake.
Okay.
I was talking to someone who doesn't like you very much.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't like me? Oh, no. Ash, right. Yeah, okay.
Before Ash and I reconnected, this girl and I were actually pretty good friends.
Yeah, okay.
And so we were at this party having this like gab, and she was shit talking on Ash pretty hard.
Right.
And she was like, she just can't stop talking about that stupid guy. She's...
I mean, it was peak.
And I'm pretty sure she kept referring to you as an Italian as well.
Oh, the biggest insult.
She was like,
I know.
she just can't stop going on about how he's Italian or Greek or something like that. And so like my opinion was formed on like this other girl's opinion of you based on her dislike of Ash. And then I was like, oh, whatever. And then obviously once Ash and I got to know each other better and like that kind of faded away, and then we obviously I knew of you through Ash. But also... For preface, Starthy and I have matched on Tinder a few times as well. Yeah.
Apparently.
And so...
I don't remember.
Motherfucker, I've got screenshots.
No, I'm not saying...
And one of them I was like, do it, I just want to see.
Yeah, because it was like one of the... That's why I asked in the podcast, I was like, do you swipe on everyone? Because I wanted to know whether or not it would have been intentional. And I'm like, I don't think it wouldn't have been. I think
I don't know. I can't remember, to be completely honest.
I don't think you would have been like, oh, that's like Ash's friend. I'm going to do it for that reason. No. But like... Anyway, my opinion of you, like, there was a lot of nerves from Ash. I don't want to call you out too much, but there was a lot of, like, I'm worried and blah, blah, and I was like, bitch, just calm the fuck down.
Was there any nerves on your side?
Not really.
Of course.
I think I was mostly worried through Ash about, like, maybe us having conflict and, like, me pushing your buttons because she had kind of mentioned that she was worried about that.
Yeah.
So I was worried about, like, maybe us having but I don't think you're like that to the point where you'd have a problem with what I say enough, and because she was like, he's gonna say some controversial things.
I didn't say like that. I just thought you'd say one thing and then Indy gets set off and I'm just like I'm not gonna get involved.
I don't know, I'm a lot different, I guess. Like, I don't know, like I could definitely see what you meant by that. I can definitely understand why as well, but I don't know. I'm just kind of like go with the flow kind of guy, chill, you know.
Fair. I think that's definitely the vibe I get from you now, whereas it wasn't the vibe I had in my head of how you were. Okay. You know what I mean?
What vibe did you have?
It was just like maybe it was. I think this is interesting. Now that I'm thinking about it, my opinion of you was very much tainted by how my ex is.
Right. Okay.
And how
because like when we'll talk about
like how he's like, come on, fight me, man. You know, like...
and looking at me, I can definitely see how...
that's what I was saying before about, like, you being my type. Like, obviously, like, my ex was my type too, in that sense of, like, you guys have a very similar look. Yeah. And I was like, based on what Ash was saying about, like, us being in a room together, I was, like, very much expecting a similar, like...
I can definitely see that. It's because, like, I've got fighting experience as well, so a lot of people... When I mention it to people, they was like, oh, you fight everyone. I'm like, no. Like, why am I going to do that?
Has there ever been like a close time where you're like, I'm gonna like deck him, or you've actually decked someone?
So there was this one time out in town, and I bumped into this guy, and he dropped his drink. I was like, oh, sorry, dude, like I'll buy you another drink, and he's like, fuck you, man, like no way, and he tried to start beef with me. I was like, all right.
What club was it in?
Reds, I think it was.
That's why he was probably fucked on coke.
Oh yeah, and then so I just walked away, I ignored it and whatnot. And as I was leaving the club, I was going to rock it to meet up my mates, and this guy's followed me out, and I'm just like, great. So,
was it like a bigger guy or just?
He was probably about my height. Okay. And he's followed me out. I'm like, for fuck's sake, like I don't want to deal with this shit. And then he's like tapped me on the shoulder, and he's like, "You're a fucking cunt." I'm not.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean?
It was an accident. It was an accident. I offered to buy you another drink. Yeah.
And then I said that, and then he swung a punch at me. And I was like, oh, this is great.
Like in the line outside?
No, this as I'm leaving. Just like,
sorry.
Like, as I'm walking towards
the
Yeah. And he swings a punch at me. I'm like, great. So now I have to punch this guy in the face. And I don't want to do that. Yeah. And like, I dropped him. And like, I was just like, I don't want to do that.
The humble brag. I dropped him.
Yeah. But I never want to start a fight. I'm not that kind of guy. No. Like, if it came down to it, I can defend myself.
Yeah. I don't necessarily just mean physically. I think it's just like also in terms of personality. Like I was under the impression you were a lot more like head buddy type. Like I'm gonna start shit because I can kind of.
Oh, okay.
And like that, especially for me, I feel like I have a lot of, and it goes back to like my my ex is like he would very much like say things to intentionally like piss me off.
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean?
I think it doesn't help the common flavor of like all my exes and the guys I kind of hang around with. They're like that.
Yeah.
Because I go for one type of guy and you're the exception of the rule, but like most of them are so ego.
Yeah.
So I was expecting that.
So I have an issue with
and like it's if you meet like my friends as well, none of us are like that as well. We're all
I think also again like and again to cut the name, not to make more edit for you, but once I knew that you were friends with very like that.
I'll bleep that, but
because my experience with him has been like really not good, and I said to Asher, I was like, that doesn't make me feel great. Because I'm not trying to say that I know him now,
of course,
or like your relationship with him, but like childhood trauma, you know what I mean, like bullies. I gotcha. And I feel like he's gonna, if he watches this, he's gonna know.
In the podcast, he'll know, but like in the podcast, he did mention about being like that in high school as well. I don't know if you watched that part at all.
I didn't, because I only watched what was on Instagram.
Oh, okay, but he did mention about that in high school and he regrets doing all that kind of stuff. So I don't know if he would ever reach out to you about it or anything like that.
When I was in high school, I was a bitch. So
I mean, maybe now he'll be like, oh shit, I've left this girl with some trauma. Not like...
Obviously, you guys run, I guess, a sex podcast, you can say. I want to know, coming from a girl, what gets you guys off? What gets you off? What do you do? What do you do? What does a guy do to... What can a guy do to a girl? I know every girl is different and they enjoy their own different things, but what personally could a guy do that would get you off?
What I like about Ash and answering these questions is like we're very similar, but we have very different answers. Yeah.
Okay.
So I want Ash to answer first.
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like confidence is huge, and just like as soon as you're confident, it's a bit bad because I do have a tendency to go towards arrogant men, but like, not, you're not arrogant, but like...
She has to preface.
Exception. I don't know, as soon as you're confident, and honestly, if a guy like hella loves eating pussy, that turns me so on, and just like... and then, I don't know, what do you think turns me on?
Well, from personal experience.
You've been there.
I've been there. I've done that. Well, from personal experience, I can definitely say you enjoy your head.
Yeah.
You'd like love that from what I get off of it. Like, and I quite enjoy that myself. I know a lot of guys don't, but
I think honestly, like, I don't know. I feel like I'm so like confident and so like I'm gonna get what I want in life. As soon as I'm in a bedroom environment, I want the guy to fully take control.
Yeah.
And I know, I guess I'm a pleaser, so I like blowjobs and shit, and I'm pretty good at them. So I didn't know I just said that. Anyway.
Tell us some techniques. Coach.
She wasn't even on the podcast. She's like, I gatekeep. I'm not gonna tell you how I do it.
No,
it's hidden techniques.
It's got better.
Oh, it's got better.
Oh, it has.
Oh,
I
was going to say, I have a dildo.
It has.
Only from, like, us talking about it.
Right.
Having those deep talks. But, like, for me, I think, like, different to Ash, I'm, like, not really into guys who have, like, that kind of confidence. Like, I like guys who are confident, but not in the way that she
I like when I walk in, they're, like, so alpha, and I'm like, that one.
Yeah. I like guys who are quite masculine, but I'm wouldn't say that like that's what attracts me.
Yeah.
I think I'm really gonna expose myself in a sense of like I do actually prefer to be the one who has more experience.
Okay.
I would not.
I know you don't. I want to be the one who has more experience, but I also, in the similar sense of like, I'm such a big personality. I have really headstrong views, but I love being submissive in the bedroom. So I would much rather be controlled, but like I'm going to guide you through what I like way.
Okay.
Because that's hot to me. Like, I want to be in control, but I want you to have the control, but I also want to have the control because...
See, I just give up control. I'm just like, you do it.
It's such a... Because I do like playing with dynamics, especially if the guy is into being more submissive as well. I like flipping it, but like rarely.
No. Would you be submissive?
I have been before.
Yeah.
You don't have to be like submissive.
No, I know.
But, like, was it your thing, or you rather dom?
I'd rather dom.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just I don't know. Just like I just feel empowered. I guess you can say.
Well, I think that's like fair. I think to answer your question more specifically about what a guy can do that turns us on is, I think, like, again, like the communication thing. Like, I'm obviously really turned off if a guy does something and I have to tell him no because he's not asking.
Okay.
I want, like, if you want to do something, chances are I'm up for it. You just have to say, hey, you know, are you like, and especially because I feel like a lot of guys don't think you can do it in a sexy way. Be like, you know, you can. You can be like, you know, oh, does that feel good? You know, can I keep going? Or like, you know, that kind of thing. Like, you know, how about here? And then kind of like moving around the body. And that, you know, can I kind of, and then you get more specific about, can I, yes, no. And that's how you go. But I think in terms of physically, it's always eating pussy.
Yeah.
It's always, and as we like had this conversation before, Ash is more inclined to ask for it. I'm less inclined to ask for it because if you don't take the initiative to eat my pussy, I don't want to fuck you again.
Well, I do vetting though. Like, before that even gets to the point, like, I won't...
But I do vetting too. I think sometimes guys just, like, forget.
Nah.
I think guys are really inclined to forget a lot of the time.
I vet and I just make sure they really, really want to do it, and I'll be like, that's the one.
Okay.
See, but we've talked about this on the podcast. I've had guys who've been like, yeah, I really, really want to do it, and they just...
And then
they don't.
Shit.
Yeah.
That's the worst.
They're spitting shit. That's why.
Yeah.
They're lying.
And just for like that was a guy, he hadn't like come in like 3 months.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And we had sex, and he just like, there was just so much cum.
When I hear that, like, the first thing that pops into my head is I remember watching this porno once, and this guy just literally just covered her entirely with it after like one week. Yeah. And that's most definitely. But I was impressed. Yeah. I was like, that's impressive that you can produce that amount.
I mean, like, honestly, this guy, he's like living proof that you can produce that much.
Yeah, that's crazy.
From what I've seen in real life.
That's just insane. I don't know, especially when it comes to like having a podcast. It is interesting how men interact with us having a podcast. Like, I don't know how men are like, oh, she must be hella freaky, and it's like, I am, but like, I don't know, like, it's weird. You know what I still think,
regardless, like, we get treated differently and talked to differently about it. So,
I don't know.
Yeah. Interesting. Another question as well. Do you feel like sex is better in a relationship or just out of a relationship?
In a relationship.
Yeah. I agree with that as well.
I feel like it is, but then you can't get like too routine with it.
Okay.
That's what like actually
spice it up. Put some salt. Put some salt in the wounds. Put some salt in the wounds.
To add some spice to your question.
Yeah.
Do you think a big part of the reason why you guys were so quick to move forward with everything was because you were trying to get that like good relationship sex?
Maybe. Who knows?
Oh no, I know why. Because at that point, I only would have sex with boyfriends, and I would never have, and that's the reason. And like, I think
pre-hoe phase, Ashley.
Let's not expose me too much. I'm not in the hoe phase, but
not in her phase now, but you were.
Okay. But no, I feel like, because I remember it was like no sex until we were boyfriend girlfriend, and then I was like, oh, I guess like we're nearly there anyway. And then as soon as we had sex, it was done. Like just after.
It was one of those things where we didn't really get an opportunity to do it, I guess. It was too tough. Like, we both lived at home. I remember once, I don't want to expose you too much, but we were in your bed.
Yeah.
And, like, your mum was literally in the room over, and I felt so uncomfortable.
I know. And I was like, oh, I can be hot. And then you're like, I can't. I'm like, mentally, I can't.
Yeah,
it's so funny, because I've, like, lived at home with a boyfriend before.
Yeah.
So, like, obviously...
Oh, right, okay.
Like, my mum's been in the next room.
But I feel like me and Safi had parents that were like, girls can't sleep over and da-da-da, and that's just how it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was, I couldn't do it. Like, I was like, your mum's, like, the whole time in my head, I was very distracted the whole time.
I could tell.
I was like, your mum's gonna walk in, she's gonna see me here, like fucking, and I couldn't do it. Nah. But yeah, but I do definitely think that sex in a relationship is a lot better than.
So I guess there's more trust. There's more trust in that, and like you can try like more stuff without needing to scare them off.
Oh, the reason why is because like when you're in a relationship, I feel like you're more comfortable to be able to ask what do you like rather than just wing it, I guess you could say.
Yeah, and I feel like you're more inclined if you're not in a relationship to lie about what you like, to kind of be impressing the other person.
Well, yeah, exactly right.
I also think like there's something to be said about like also, and this is something I found as well through my experiences, where like I went out and like kind of did all the freaky stuff to find out what I really, really liked before with like random people, and then I'm like more inclined to like know what I want. Well, not like random people, that sounds bad, but like, you know what I mean, like I had more casual sex and I did more like experimental stuff especially because my relationship before that, like the sex was so monotonous. Like it was good.
That's how I felt with my first two relationships.
It was good sex. I'm not trying to say it wasn't like I came a lot and like he came a lot.
Yeah.
So you know that's not a indicator of good sex, but like that was we knew how to make each other come. Yeah. And I think that's how it gets to be.
I just felt like sex, you just have to really, not to sound like really cliche, like you just kind of really have to find out what you like and stop impressing other people, you know what I mean? And like the day I figured out like, oh, I like sex like this, I was like, okay, I'm gonna love this, and like sex has been better ever since.
For sure. I mean, I can pinpoint it to a specific person that I was having sex with maybe like a month or 2 months, and I was very like go-getter on Tinder. Like I think the second message I was like, I'm gonna come over and sit on your face. Like I was very like this is what I want, this is what I'm gonna do, and he was like, alright, come and fucking do it then.
So I'm such a wine and diner. I'm like, you have to like spend money on me, and then
I was not interested in being wined and dined at this point. It ebbs and flows, but like at this point I was like, I don't care. I don't care. And we were having like a particular kind of sex that was like, you know, how I like to have sex now, but I remember being in the moment having sex with this guy and like not enjoying it, but being like, I'm gonna enjoy this so much more when I'm with someone who I like love. Because I was like, and I remember it got to this, I've told this story in the podcast as well, he didn't keep himself very clean, and so I was like sucking his dick once, and he also was like, he was a bit like the kind of guy where he was like, I'm not gonna compliment her because then she'll fall in love with me. So I didn't get a lot. He just like wasn't a nice person. So I was like, I remember this. I was like sucking his dick. I was like, this is the last time because I do not want to suck your dirty dick anymore. I'm a very hygienic person. Yeah, which I appreciate about. Like I'm very like, as soon as there's like a whiff, I'm like, oh no, I'm done. You know what I mean? It was like that. You have to get to kind of like, not like my lowest point, but your lower points where you're like, I'm done. I really also didn't feel like I could stop if I wanted to at that point. I was like, I'm not gonna stop because he might get mad at me.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's so funny how like all girls have these same situations though.
It's not hard to clean though.
It's not hard to clean,
right?
It's also not hard to clean. It's also not hard to like be okay if a girl wants to stop.
Oh yeah, of course. 100% as well. Yeah, no joke. Something I want to ask you guys is, obviously there's a huge conversation about about guys' dick sizes, right? Yeah. And it's always about if you like penetration. What do you prefer, as in all departments of sex? So orally, vaginally. That's so weird to say, but yeah.
I mean, it's true.
In all departments of like, what do you prefer?
I'm gonna expose myself. I don't know. I feel like size. What's that fucking saying? Like size.
Size doesn't matter. It's how you use it. Is that the
one? That's it. But no, I feel like that. But also in terms of like penetrative sex, as long as like that size is good. Not that size. Not girth. Not that. I was trying to girth. As long as your girth is
of a
good.
Pizza. Yeah.
Oh my fuck no. Don't want to be impaled. But like I feel like as long as you got girth, you're good. But there's definitely been situations where I've had guys who are smaller and like not to hate on them, it's just not my thing. But like I can't. They can't help it, obviously. But as long as if you have that situation, as long as you're good with head, then whatever. But in terms of like blowjobs and that, I don't know. Anything's fine, honestly.
We'll start with blowjobs just because I've given head to a very...
Oh, the 90-degree one?
No. Oh. I've given head to a 90-degree angle dick before.
Yeah, right. That's crazy. Yeah. I shouldn't laugh, but sorry.
Go ahead. But I've given head to a particularly small endowed man.
Right.
He wasn't very well endowed. He was very small.
Okay.
And it's fun, but it was very easy.
Very easy.
Oh my god! It was so funny because he was actually having an aneurysm underneath me, and then he was trying not to come because he was I was like, what, are you okay, are you gonna come? And he was because he was trying not to, and I was he's like, I don't want to come in your mouth, and I was like, you can if you want to. And he was like,
okay.
He was like, I can do that.
Nah, I reframe what I say. Too small is a bit of are you kidding?
Yeah.
That sounds rude, but it's just kind of, I didn't mean it bad, but
I think, again, it's contextual on the kind of person. If a guy, and and this also kind of comes back to the conversation we had a conversation in our blowjob episode about trans men and you know men with female anatomy or that kind of anatomy, and it's I wouldn't care about that, but I feel when it comes to dick size, I'm actually, ironically, I like a skinnier penis. It works for me for some reason.
Okay.
In terms of making me come.
Yeah.
Penetratively, it works for me.
Right.
Whereas if you have more girth, it doesn't work for me as much.
Okay.
I feel all my type of men have very similar dicks, so.
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it.
I mean, I'm not to call it out, but.
When it comes to penetrative sex, there's definitely more of a curve. I like
curve is best.
Curve towards you. It helps, hit the right spots. But when it comes to sucking dick, I think if it's too big, it's just I can't.
That's why I think there's that whole thing of girls love huge dicks, and at the end of the day, now
that's such a porn thing. That's such a porn
definitely.
thing.
I know girls who are size queens, but it's never to the extent where it's I will only ever have sex with a man whose dick is 9 or 10 inches.
I've been accused of being a size queen before,
but
I don't know. I just not if it's that big. No, I'm not touching that with 10-foot pole.
I also I love a man. Speaking about what in terms of, I love a guy who's very humble about his dick. Okay. I remember this one time I was sleeping with this guy for the longest time, and it was pretty friends with benefits scheme. And didn't do it. Nothing went wrong.
Okay. There's an example that works.
Yeah. And I remember being your cock is fucking huge. It's so big, and he was really? He was no one's ever said that before, and I was I'm telling you, and this is one testicle guy.
Yeah.
And
he had
one
testicle.
One really small testicle.
That would confuse me.
Really?
That would confuse me. That seems like a clown show.
Okay.
He was born that way.
Right, okay.
So it's a Lance Armstrong type deal.
Yeah, he was born that way, and his dick was so big, and I remember, and it was just...
It seems unbalanced.
It looked unbalanced.
I wouldn't know what to do if I saw it.
But it made it easier when it came to playing with the balls,
just only one to play with.
Yeah. So it was fun.
Yeah.
What's your opinions on blowjob stuffing?
Yeah.
I enjoy them.
I mean,
give us a little more. Where's the juice?
Yeah.
I don't know.
What do guys really like?
Honestly,
no. We know what guys really like.
I know.
Guys are pretty easy, to be completely honest with you, or in my opinion at least.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Obviously, you've never sucked off a guy who has death grip.
Yeah, yeah.
I get you.
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things where something I really like is when they're sucking the dick and then the tongue comes out. That's
standard.
That's standard though. Yeah. But there's nothing
some people don't do.
It's something I don't know. I necessarily can't narrow down. It's just if it feels good, it feels good. You know what I mean?
Nah.
I loved watching your eyes light up before, and Ash was like, "It's gotten better."
Really?
You're
tell me more.
Yeah, no, I don't know. It's it's interesting because if you ask a guy what they like, they're probably just going to be blowjobs, and anything like that. It's a weird, not a weird topic, a different topic to discuss with guys, I guess you can say.
I feel again, because there's so much when it comes to eating pussy, because and we've had that conversation of every pussy is different.
Exactly.
And that's why you have to be what do you like? Because Ash and I agree the side to side is good.
Yeah.
What makes me laugh about the whole pussy in conversation is I've literally asked guys who the fuck taught you? What ex? Has to be a woman who taught you? And they're like, oh, I taught myself. And I'm bullshit. You had to learn from every girl you've done it to.
It's all past experiences, realistically. you do learn yourself,
exactly.
yes, but it's...
That's true, but also, like, the guy I'm seeing right now, there was a very little amount of experience, and he made me squirt.
Some people are natural, though.
Natural.
Like, yeah.
I forgot this is video, and I keep showing you looks.
No, it's, I don't know, it's like, you always learn from previous experiences. Like, if someone doesn't... Yeah, if like, you try something and they don't like, they go like, okay, cool, I've tried it a couple times and it hasn't worked, then you just kind of rule that out, and then you just try something else, and, you know, and then you find a formula that works, you know.
Yeah, I remember when I was seeing that guy with a really big dick, he was, like, pretty okay at it to begin with, but, like, I was like, you know, maybe your mouth is set to your ex's pussy and this is not gonna work.
This is not gonna work.
Like, we gotta change the settings.
Yeah, literally. Oh my god, but guys, I don't know, like, guys just need to listen to your girl and she'll tell you.
True. I think there's also, like, that general consensus for guys that, like, oh, I don't eat pussy unless, like, you're my girlfriend as well, because
fuck that.
No,
that's shit.
I think that's, like, another reason why.
I've never heard that.
I've heard it before.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've heard it before. But speaking about, you mentioned it just before, going side to side. So, sex positions, right?
Yeah.
What do you enjoy? And I'm curious.
I mean, I'm a lover of doggy. I'm an ass girl. Like, my ass is my best feature, according to Starfy himself. So, like, doggy is the best.
Yeah.
Just because, like, spanking and shit, like, so hot. I don't know, I do like going on top and really, like, just going at it. I don't know, like, those are my top two, I reckon. I don't know, but I like when you get a bit freaky with it and try different things.
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on who you're sleeping with as well.
Yeah. I'm,
like, very particular about who I like going from the back with. I don't like saying doggy, I don't like that word. I like saying it from the back. That's what I prefer to say. Like, I find it to be, like, I'm very much about, like, intimacy when it comes to sex. Okay. So if you're like hitting it from behind and I, like, can't see you, I'm like, ugh, whatever. Like, if I'm, like, with my ex, I would always be like, okay, yeah.
See, I like it because you, like, I don't know, it's more like dominating and, like, you can pull your hair and it's just like hot. But you like that, I guess, face to face.
I like the face to face spell, especially because there's, like,
it's fine.
Right. What I really like as well is sexual aggression in guys. I find that really attractive. Yeah. And so I was like, I don't want you to be, like, angry with me, but, like, I want you to be, like, look like you're angry with me.
Yeah.
And like, that I can't see that unless there's a mirror, obviously, which I can appreciate.
Fucking from a mirror is so hot though. That's my favorite thing.
I like that. I'm much more inclined to like hitting it from the back, like someone hitting it from the back if there's a mirror, because I also like to watch myself.
So I think like guys and girls, especially in that position, you see the full curve of the girl, and then the guy's like, I can see the whole picture.
Yeah, you know, especially like you know, when you've got the nice big lips and like the mouth open is such a like vibe. But I think for me, in terms of like favorite, I definitely love being on top, especially because that's like what's gonna make me come from penetrative sex is like me being on top. I was having this discussion with someone on Facebook the other day. This guy was complaining in a Facebook group about how he didn't like how porn kind of normalizes that like non-stop like jackhammering sex. Yeah. Whereas I kind of mentioned, or alternatively, how there's like that like squat on the dick kind of riding that is like normalized, or like it's an up and down kind of motion. Yeah. Whereas I'm like, what's gonna make me come is like more back and forward, or like me like playing with like going around as well, and guys like love it. But like that idea that you have to squat. I remember I literally once had a guy who I was talking to from Tinder. He asked me, "Can you squat on my dick?" And I was like, I'm done with you.
Guys are so like crazy on Tinder. Oh my God.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
I love how you both just looked at me like, yeah, they are.
I think the worst thing. Sorry, just quickly. No. Tinder tangent. Some guy I was talking to, he was Greek, of course.
The worst. I'll tell you what.
and he was like, oh yeah, so like, like, what are you? And I was like, oh, Australian, Italian, but you can't tell it. And then he was like, oh, do you want some Greek in you? And I was like, sleazy. I was like, at least you haven't gone that low. You haven't gone that low yet.
That makes me want to gag. Oh, that's disgusting.
You'd be surprised, or they'll be like, I'll trade my jacket for that ass squat or something like that. It's always about ass.
I feel like because my ass isn't like my best feature, although like I've learnt to appreciate it. You know, we both have tattoos on our bums, so like I've learnt to appreciate it in that sense. But like I know that like I've got nice titties, so like I love riding and I love having a guy just being like, oh my God, you know what I mean?
That's a compliment.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Interesting.
What's on your mind, isn't there?
Good insight. Yeah. It's very, like I said at the beginning, very different to what the Spit Shit podcast is used to, and it's great.
Same.
We got the hot sauce. The one we've got today is the Reaper Evil hot sauce with a Carolina Reaper in it, which is the hottest chili in the world.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting. It's got a Scoville rating of 1.5 mil.
So what's like Tabasco, like normal hot sauce?
So normal hot sauce Tabasco is like 5,000 Scoville units.
And I can't handle that.
Do you suffer with that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We'll do one little drop. And we got McDonald's.
Put as much as you want.
No, so we'll do one drop first because it's pretty hot. So we got chips.
Alright.
Hopefully they're not too cold.
Nah, they'll be right.
And then we got...
Certainly nice.
Then we got some nuggets here.
Okay.
So...
Where do you want to put the sauce? Just in the lid there?
Yeah, so I'll just chuck it in this lid here.
I thought we're just eating.
I'm just preparing. I mean, you can have the chips if you want to with the...
So this is... It smells nice.
Yeah.
Like we smelt it before and it does smell nice. But
it smells tasty.
It smells
like
very
barbecue
hot
sauce.
as well. It looks like barbecue sauce a bit too. So we'll do that.
Oh god.
And then we'll leave it open.
Are you in charge of the dip?
No, you can dip as much as you like.
Yeah, maybe put it in the middle.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah.
There you go.
Is that here?
So
Okay, so we just eating it when there's no like preparing.
It's
there's
more
no, like,
so.
game with it.
It's no, you just put it in your mouth and explain the sensation that's going on inside your mouth.
Okay.
I'll do.
So I'm actually going to go for quite a bit. Don't go for that much, because that's not a safe amount.
No.
Like that?
That's still quite a bit as
Is
well.
it?
Yeah.
Maybe get a new nug.
Get a new nug. Get a new nug. I'll dip it for you.
I love how
if you
everyone is like, no, actually, don't do that. I don't want to be a pussy though.
Like that's probably a good amount.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I won't be
It
that
looks
bad.
spicy. You can see the peppercorns in it.
I have no peppercorns in mine.
No, you would.
You
It's
don't?
just
Yeah. Okay. You ready?
Ready.
3, 2, 1.
It's like on the tongue.
Hits like straight away, and then it
I
gets
don't
worse.
feel it.
Put a little bit. Yeah, put a little bit more. Then I feel it. It's not that bad.
It's going down the throat.
Mm.
It's definitely not. As like, I guess maybe also because like I don't have anything like as big as what you guys have.
Yeah.
I feel like it's
Could you imagine?
just driving home coughing up.
Yeah.
Alright, there we go.
It's not that bad.
It's not that bad. I thought it was going to be a lot worse, but so the last time
I think it's gonna come.
last time I did a really really hot one, I flooded a whole nugget with it and put it in my mouth, and that was not a fun time. I can feel it on my tongue though.
Should we dip
I can feel
more?
it in my throat.
Dip a little bit more.
Will you dip a little bit more? I'll do a few
Yeah,
of it.
I know if I will.
I'll get a new nugget. Oh no, I'll do this one. Is that a lot?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Calm down a bit.
I actually like to mind it.
It tastes nice.
Like that barbecue sauce.
No.
Oh no.
I've been like, I'm the best. Oh no.
I'm gonna have like another chip with this because it's a lot.
You can have those 2 nuggets if you want to help the heat. I got the bread here if it gets too hot for you as well.
I really don't like that. That's the worst.
What's your mouth feeling like? I'm dealing with it quite fine, to be completely honest with you.
I feel like my sinuses are more affected than me.
It makes you sniff and it clears out, which is good.
I'm doing this face a lot like that. Oh no, it's heating up now. That's because I was like, I'll be fine. No. I feel like I'm not giving the reaction. We're not giving the reaction that's normally.
No, it's whatever reaction you get from it. Like the last one we had,
my
it was
teeth are like grinding.
Like the last one we had was like a mango flavoured hot sauce.
Oh, that would be nice.
It was so beautiful.
Yeah.
And like it was hot, but none of us were concentrated on the heat.
Do you still have it?
Yeah. I reckon I do.
Okay.
Maybe you can try that.
Should we try that one?
Yeah.
Double? Yeah.
Double hot
Double
sauce.
or nothing.
Go get some more.
So we're back. We got a couple other hot sauces. We got the mango chili one.
We are the hot girls.
They wanted to try it. They wanted to try the mango chili one, and then also we got the bomb
when
one.
you shake it, that scares me.
Gets all the seeds and stuff like that from it.
I wanted to try
Which
it.
one do you want to try first?
The mango one.
The mango one.
Okay.
This one
I feel like if the Da Bomb one's too hot, I won't be able to taste the mango one.
This one's not too hot,
split them,
which is good.
And then you can pop it in there.
Yeah.
I'll pop it in there.
So
there you
that's
go. This
the
is
mango
actually
one.
this is what I have with dinner. If I want like something a little bit spicy, I have this one.
Okay. Are you gonna try it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll try it. I'll grab this. Yeah.
It's a bit sultry.
It's tropical.
So
is this one hotter than that one?
No.
No. Okay.
Nowhere near.
We should
And
have
it's because
done.
it's smoky.
We should have done Real Hot Girls and be like that one, and then that one.
Oh well.
Oh well.
This one's. If you don't react to this one, I'll be genuinely impressed.
I'm just like,
because this one like is deadly.
in my research, like your friends were like coughing up and shit, and I'm not
Yeah.
coughing, so I'm just like.
Honestly, I thought
I hate hot sauce. So
I thought this one was going to be a lot worse.
It was definitely spicy.
It was definitely spicy. It had like when I went there, it was
is it
like
just
rated.
a shot full of hot sauce, or
What was that? Sorry.
is it just a hot sauce shot?
Chili
Yeah.
Mojo, and they just sell like it's just
Okay.
full of hot sauces. It's brilliant. I love it. This. If so, firstly, before you dip this one, I want you to smell it.
Alright.
That smells like chemicals.
It does got like an atomic bomb at the front.
Yeah.
So,
It smells like wine.
like wine.
Wine.
Wine
Oh,
must
I
smell-
kind of got the wine vibe
Yeah.
a little bit. Yeah.
I'm like, I gotta
We're
spit it.
really not good for this. We're enjoying all
I
that.
think it's fun. I definitely get the like mild, like barbecuey.
Yeah.
Because sometimes wine will almost smell savory,
So, yeah.
and then you gotta.
Smell,
Okay,
it even
which
smells
was it?
hot.
That one?
That's the one there. Yeah.
How much will you? I'll put the same amount.
She's
So-
like, I'm gonna wait.
We had this. My cousin wanted to try this at Christmas
Yeah.
dinner, and he put some on, and he pretty much died from it, and that was like a little drop.
Oh my god.
So I'm gonna.
But you said this one was the same as that one.
Yeah, it is the
Supposed to
same, supposedly the same, but I feel like this one hits different. I put
That?
that is quite a lot,
That's a lot.
but
I
it's
can't-
fine. You'll be fine. You'll be alright. Just think, heat's only temporary.
Ooh. I'm gonna just like.
No.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this one hits different.
Oh yeah.
I still don't know how they're the
Oh my
same.
god.
This one hits different.
Oh my god. My tongue.
Why do I keep doing this hot sauce? It's not good.
The water doesn't make it better.
Ha!
I'm surprised.
Oh my god.
If you want bread, go for it.
So we're just watching shovel fries. My god.
Hits different, that one.
Honestly, going back to the mango.
Do you actually enjoy that?
Not that one.
I feel like my jaw's shaking.
I can feel it on the roof of my mouth.
Yeah.
I got mine right there, so it's stuck under my tongue. Alright, so
Yeah.
that's it for the Spit Shit podcast. Thanks for Ash and Indy for coming on. Their podcast, Hot Girls Theory, will be linked in the description below. Be sure to check it out, and see you later.
Bye.
Bye. Oh god, bye. Now to drive home.